Welcome back to another episode of Things to Ask Your Partner Nobody Actually Talks About. On today's episode, foods you're comfortable never eating again. And that's not necessarily true, but depending on your compatibility in the food department, you might go without for a while. So, the questions to ask: how experimental are they with food? Do they have their comfort foods and they don't want to expand beyond that? Do they like a certain type of cuisine and they don't want to extend beyond that? And are they willing to try new safe foods? So, for instance, if they really like chicken, but they've never had chicken marsala, chicken piccata, anything like that, are they willing to try those? My husband is very much like chili and cheese on everything, and he's always on the lookout for the next best burger. American food is pretty much where he draws the line. Where I grew up with parents that tried all kinds of different foods. We had Cajun, Indian, Thai, Chinese, Japanese, not the Americanized Panda Express stuff, like the real stuff, and French food and Irish food. Like, I love haggis. I love haggis. My husband, no. He doesn't like seafood. He doesn't like Cajun food. He doesn't like spicy food. He doesn't like curry. So we both go without a lot because I'm not going to cook burgers for every stupid meal. And if I even consider putting a tilapia in a pan, he's throwing a fit. So it's hard. It's hard. And nobody talks about it. Because, in the beginning of a relationship, everyone's willing to compromise. Oh, you don't like that? That's totally fine. Let's go here. Like, I can't tell you how many times I ate Wendy's at the beginning of a relationship. And likewise for him, he would take me to a steakhouse because he knew there was seafood on the menu, but not so exclusively that he didn't have anything he could eat. And that's fine, but eventually you can't go to a steakhouse all the time. Eventually, the dating phase and the honeymoon phase, that wears off. So what are you left with? A very small selection of food either one of y'all can eat. And then when y'all do get to go out to eat, and a lot of people will have this easier than we do. I live in a town where we have a McDonald's, a Subway, and a Sonic. That is it. We have a few like sit-in Mexican food restaurants, and we have one steakhouse. And that is it. That's it. We have nothing. So when we get to go to the big city closest to us, where do we go eat? Because he wants Arby's, McAllister's, Wendy's, Burger King. He loves Burger King. It's his favorite place. Anytime we go to the next town over, he wants Burger King or Arby's. Really, that's it. Where I want Jazz, Joe's Crab Shack, Rockfish. I want Hook and Reel Cajun. I want Osaka's Japanese food or Pacific Rim. I want woes, which was the best Chinese food in the town I grew up in. It was amazing. It was owned by actual Chinese immigrants, so it was very real Chinese food. And my husband does not want any of that. So what do we do? Where do we go? Because we can't just afford a steakhouse every time we go. And I'm not eating at Burger King every time we go. So it really limits where you can go out to eat. It really limits what you can have at home. And while it's obviously not a deal breaker, like it's food, sometimes it gets really frustrating and I feel like nobody talks about it. And there are so many people who are so compatible in the food department, and I envy you so much. Like, I can't tell you how much I envy you. And just trying to cook dinner every night. He doesn't like pasta. We have 3 kids here, and then his son, my stepson, who's over for dinner at least 4 nights a week too. So I'm feeding a family of 6 almost every night. Do you know what feeds a family of 6 easy? Pasta. Do you know what he's not a fan of? Pasta. Oh Homemade ravioli, nope, didn't like it. Chicken Alfredo, he'll eat it. Spaghetti, he'll stomach. Chicken spaghetti, no. And it's hard. It's hard. And I can't say, like, I am so frustrated by it all the time. And I'm sure he is too. He is not here to defend himself, which kind of makes me feel bad. But I'm sure he thinks I know he thinks I'm strange for wanting all these ethnic cuisines all the time. But it's how I grew up. Like, it's how I grew up. My mom was a nurse and worked with a lot of Indian and Pakistani people and everything like that. So we had that culture that we would go out to their places and eat and enjoy celebrations with them. And I learned to love those kind of foods. But then she also had patients that became friends and whatnot that were Chinese and French and Cajun and all of these other people where we learned those foods too. And I love those foods. It's how I grew up. And let's talk about that. Let's talk about growing up. How do you raise your kids when there is one picky eater in the house? Like, I don't want my kids to grow up thinking that burgers and chili dogs are the only food on the menu. And I've done a good job. All three of my kids will eat most anything I put in front of them. My youngest will not eat fish at all. And that's fine. I respect that. Not everybody likes fish. That's okay. But for the most part, they are also experimental. It drives my husband crazy. However, it drives me crazy too, because if you ask them on any given normal night what they want to eat, it's probably a burger. But yes. So my kids are definitely closer to me than him, but they like his normal food too. And I don't dislike American food, whatever, plain normal food. I like pizza. I like burgers. They're fine. I don't like hot dogs. I'm just not a fan of hot dogs at all. And that just, I think, really hurts my husband's soul. But yeah, like, I like that stuff. And I feel like I am a lot more capable of compromising than he is. Because while his food isn't my favorite food, it's food. It's fine. I'll eat it. We're okay. Anything that I love, he just flat doesn't like. And do not get me wrong, I have absolutely cooked 2 meals in this house before. I actually just did it last week because I said, I want fish. I'm making shrimp cocktail. I'm making hush puppies. I'm making baked tilapia. This is what we're having. And for my husband and my youngest son who doesn't like fish, they got nachos. Which I also don't like. I don't like nachos at all. So yeah, basically what we have to compromise on is your plain Jane American food and Mexican food. Not real Mexican food, because it's spicy. I like spicy. Not everybody does. But that's neither here nor there. All I'm saying is, these are actually conversations you should probably have very honestly at the beginning of a relationship. Like, what kind of food do you really like? And how can we meet in the middle in the long term? Because there are a lot of days in a year that we have to eat, that we have to find commonality and eat together. So definitely a smaller issue, still an issue. Find your food compatibility early in the relationship. Do that for everybody's sake. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope it made you laugh a little bit, sharing my woes. So join me next week for episode 3. Thanks.